Hey there, Nancy Drew Clue crew. I'm Maura, and welcome to another video walkthrough of the Nancy Drew game series. Today, I'm playing The Haunting of Castle Malloy, the 19th game in the series. And this takes place in Ireland.
Hi, I'm Nancy Drew. This is my center of operations, my desk. Go ahead and poke around. If you want to know the particulars of how I do what I do, take a look at the book titled How to Be a Detective. It's real helpful, especially if you're new to the mystery-solving business. And be sure to check out my scrapbook. I put memorabilia from all my past cases in there. A lot of them were pretty dangerous and at times really scary. Don't say anything about that to my dad, okay? He worries about me enough as it is. And whatever you do, read what's in the file called Case File. That'll tell you all about the mystery I'm about to try to solve. If you think you're ready to dive into that mystery, just click on the plane ticket and you'll be on your way.
Okay, so let's open the case file and see what's going on here.
When Kyler Mallory called me from her home in London and asked me to be your maid of honor, I was a little reluctant. After all, I hadn't seen her since she stayed with us as an exchange student a couple of years ago. But when she told me the wedding is going to take place at an old family castle in Ireland, how could I say no? The wedding will be very small, but Kyler still needs help with all the final preparations, which means she'd like me to arrive several days early. So I'm going to fly to Dublin, rent a car, and meet Kyler at Castle Malloy. She warned me that the place is somewhat in need of repairs, whatever that means. And unfortunately, by the time I get there, it'll be night. But I've never been to Ireland before, and I've never even seen a real honest-to-goodness castle, let alone stayed in one. So the fact that it may be dark and run down just makes it more of an adventure. And you know me, whenever the question is, who wants to go on an adventure?
My answer is always, I do. Of course, Nancy's always up for an adventure. And well, so am I. That's why I like playing these games. They feel like an adventure to me. Okay, so before I jump into the game, I wanted to point out that unlike from Danger by Design to Phantom of Venice, this is the first time we see paraphernalia on Nancy's desk, new paraphernalia that alludes to past games like this from the Phantom of Venice. That looks like that little pyramid in White Wolf of Icicle Creek. That looks like a Hawaiian doll from... I saw in the curio shop in Legend of the Crystal Skull. Could it be a nod to Creature of Kapu Cave since that took place in Hawaii? Maybe. But now let me pick up the items that are here. Besides the plane ticket, I need to pick up this phone card. And here's the wedding invitation. Kyler is marrying Matt Simmons. They're both from London. Now click on the plane ticket. And I'm going to go, of course, with Junior Detective.
Preparation for our landing. Please make sure
your seatbelt is securely fastened. Thank you. How many times do they show this map over the course of the games when Nancy's going outside of the States?
Everything went without a hitch?
Yep, and according to Kyler's directions, I'm within 2 kilometers of Castle Malloy. Now stop worrying about me and get over to the Dunhills. What time is it there?
Around 2. The party just started. It's gonna go all day, so I've got plenty of time. Are you driving?
Yes, Ned, I'm talking on my cell phone while I'm driving, but it's okay. There's absolutely no traffic. And I think I see the gates. I gotta go. Say hi to the Dunhills for me and have fun.
Without you? Yeah, right. Take care, Nancy.
Whoa! What the heck was that?
What was that?
What is that sound? Okay, so Nancy's car is unfortunately stuck in a ditch. But look, we go up here. Notice that it turns blue. It means when you come up to a spot that highlights in blue, that means you can walk over to it, interact with it. So this is the Screaming Banshee, and there's no vacancy, unfortunately. But let's go inside, because there's something brief we can do here.
Be right with you, miss.
We can't stay here, obviously, but there are free tokens here in the dispensers of these 2 games that I'm going to pick up and use to play. This one is Difference Detective, where you Okay. Try to find the 12 differences between two pictures. All right. And there are up to 10 of these. I think there is a max of 10 sets of two different pictures where you have to find the differences. Oh, and look, my prize is a whistle. I'll make a video of that in the future of all 10 images. So I got a prize for solving that, and now I'll use this other token here to play darts. See what prize I can get from that. It's good if you can try to hit the bullseye, like I did just there, to knock off lots of points. Ooh. Well, I'll just go off to the side. Because to win that, you have to get a score of 0 using all of the darts. But if you, well, get down to a small number, you have to figure out how to use them wisely, because if you get to 0 too soon and not use all the darts, you don't get a prize. So you can see my prize there was a homemade dog doll, it seemed. Let's walk up to the castle because we're stuck. We gotta stay at the castle anyway. Oh look, looks like another homemade doll. Is that a ring around its neck? A sheep? Well, Ireland is known for having the countryside with sheep. Ah, a slider puzzle. Let's see if I can solve it. Alright, that side's complete. Let's see.
It looks like a piece is missing.
Alright, well, maybe we'll find it later. Okay, now we have to go up to the castle, and as you can see, it's pretty dark around here. Maybe there's a lantern or something in the castle we can use to explore. I noticed, like, this figure of Nancy, because obviously we're not going to see her face.
Oh, Hello. I'm Nancy Drew. I'm here for the wedding.
The wedding's been called off. So go on back to where you come from.
No, wait, please. My car's in the ditch by the gate. I can't go anywhere.
Walk down the road to the inn then. Give me your keys and I'll see to your car in the morning.
I left the keys in the car. Can I at least talk to Kyler?
She's sleeping.
No, wait. I came all the way from the States.
You cannot stay here. Go to the inn, I said. Now off with you.
But I've been to the inn. They don't have any rooms. I've got to stay here. Hello? Are you there? Hello?
Alright, so he's not going to let us in, but luckily...
There's somebody up there. I'll bet it's Kyler.
So, we're going to have to get her attention by throwing rocks. You need to throw at least 3. I would recommend using the small ones, not the big ones, because otherwise you may punch a hole in the window, breaking it. Let's see, you have to aim right about here to make a noise, to make the noise that'll alert Kyler. So, use the small stones, not the big ones. And now she should be able to see. There she is. So now that she knows Nancy's here, let's go back down, or let's go back and try again to knock, to be let in.
Deaf are you now? I told you cannot be staying here.
Oh, what are you doing? That's Nancy Drew, my maid of honor. Let her in.
Well, that was a warm welcome.
Matt's disappeared? How can somebody you came all the way out here with to marry just disappear?
He hasn't disappeared for good. You have to understand, Matt's a bit of a prankster, and the wedding is still days away.
You mean the wedding hasn't been called off?
Absolutely not. He'll show up. Mind you, it may not be till I've started down the aisle, but he'll show, saying he just wanted to make this a wedding no one shall ever forget.
Why did that man at the door tell me the wedding was off?
That was the caretaker, Donald Delaney. Not Donald, mind you. There's no D at the end, so it's pronounced Donald. That's the way you're supposed to spell it, which is to say that's the way the Irish spell it.
Proud of his heritage, huh?
Indeed. Which would be tolerable if his love for the Irish wasn't accompanied by an abiding distaste for the British. Now, he rather likes me, but that's only because he considers me to be Irish, since I'm directly related to the man who used to own this place. When it comes to my British fiancé, Donald detests him, which is why he was so quick to tell you the wedding's off. He wants it to be off. He came right out and said, if I am to be married in Castle Malloy, it simply must be to an Irishman. Said my marrying a Brit would upset the fairy people, or whatever he calls them.
Do you have any idea where Matt disappeared to?
No, but I know he didn't go far. The fact is, sometimes I hear him. You know, his voice. It's very faint and muffled, but it sounds like he's calling to me, saying things I can't quite make out, teasing me the lout. So I know he's somewhere close by. He'll be here for the wedding. I'd stake my life on it. Of course, I remember well your penchant for solving mysteries. So if you want to give this one
Penchant. I guess that's a synonym for affinity. I don't usually hear either of those terms very much. At least not penchant.
Find him, Nancy. Having my maid of honor ruin this silly vanishing trick of his would teach him a lesson he sorely needs.
Someone ran out in front of my car on my way here and caused me to drive into a ditch.
Are you all right?
Me, I'm fine. My car and my cell phone, not so good. And I'm pretty sure whomever I saw dropped this. Looks like some kind of homemade doll.
The clothes. It looks like Matt. And that's his ring. What did the person who dropped this look like?
I didn't really get a good look. It was dark and I was distracted and it moved so fast. Frankly, I'm not even sure if what I saw was a person.
Donald, the caretaker. When we realized Matt was gone, straight away Donald claimed Matt had been kidnapped by fairies, which is of course utterly ridiculous. It was probably Matt himself you saw, tricked out in some costume and leaving that doll behind just to confound us. Well, I do hope he's enjoying himself, because as soon as we're married, that will be that. No more practical jokes. Ever.
Does it bother you to be here all by yourself?
Actually, Matt's best friend Kit Foley is here too. He set up a cot in the Great Hall downstairs.
Is he from London too?
He lives in London now, yes, but both his parents are Irish. You could practically hear Donald's ears perk up when he heard that.
Where does Mr. Delaney live?
All I know is he comes at dawn and leaves at sunset. I can't fathom what he does all day, but he always seems to be puttering away at something. When he's not working, he spends most of his time down the road at the Screaming Banshee Inn.
Who pays him?
My grandfather's estate. Apparently, Grandpapa considered Dunol to be as much a part of Castle Malloy as those moldy old tapestries you see everywhere. I should let him go. All he ever talks about are banshees and fairies and leprechauns, and he can be quite obstinate, as you saw at the door. But if Grandpapa saw fit to put up with him all
I think
those
maybe
years,
he's a little
I
too
suppose
proud
I
of
can
his
too.
heritage if
When you said you
he's
sometimes
always
hear
talking
a
about
gnat,
Irish
where are you when that
folklore
happens?
like that.
In here?
In here, in the nursery, sometimes outside. His voice is always very muffled, very, very faint, so I can never tell where it's coming from or what he's saying. But it's Matt, I'm sure of it.
And you've looked all over for him?
When it became apparent he was missing, we searched everywhere for hours. We were afraid he'd gone wading and drowned or something, or wandered into the bog, or gotten lost out on the moor. But we found no footprints, no clothes lying around, nothing. So when I heard his voice, it dawned on me he was playing one of his outlandish pranks. I was furious with him, but truth be told, it was also a bit of a relief.
What are you doing in here, if you don't mind my asking?
Reading. About myself, in a way. You see, until my grandpapa died and left me this place, not only did I have no idea that this castle existed, but I had no idea my real name was not Mallory, but Malloy. Apparently, Grandpapa changed his name 50 years ago, so no one would find out he was Irish.
Your parents didn't even know?
Unfortunately, they're no longer with us, so I can't ask them. But as far as I know, Grandpapa never told anyone his true ancestry, not even my father. I think it had something to do with his brother, Brendan, the man who owned this place and was living here when it exploded during World War II. He was rumored to have been a double agent, supposedly doing top-secret research for the Allies, but in truth passing his findings onto the Axis. Not exactly a brother you want people to know about.
If the rumors were true.
Anyway, ever since I found out I'm a Malloy, I can't stop reading about Ireland. So many different people have populated this country at one time or another. The Celts, the Druids, the Gaels. It's all quite fascinating.
All these books were Brendan's?
I can't be certain, but I assume so. He was quite the inventor, I do know that. Everything that remains in this place seems as if it's been tinkered with. Even his daughter's dollhouse, of all things.
I'm gonna go play detective now.
The 5 months I spent living with you, your dad, and Hannah, and Togo, of course. That was a very happy time for me, Nancy. I can't tell you how thrilled I am you're here.
I get to see you again, and I get to see Ireland? I'm the one who's thrilled, believe me. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. I'm your maid of honor, remember?
I haven't forgotten.
Yeah. Okay, let's finally start looking around. Yep, we're gonna need to take this. There's a little gear puzzle, but there are a couple missing, so I'll have to come back to it later. Whoa.
That would have been quite a fall.
Wow, that's quite a, explosive remains, you could say. Okay, gonna have to do this puzzle in order to light up the lantern. We're gonna need to explore the castle grounds, but it's dark out, so we're gonna need to use this lantern for that purpose. This is just like, that puzzle in, Stay Tuned for Danger. Getting reins from one side to another to get the key to open up the clock. Alright. And I know how to do these kinds of puzzles well, so I need no help in finding hints, I mean. And one more. Alright, so that powers up the lantern, and now I can use it.
This'll come in handy.
Yes, it will. Alright, let's take another look here. See, there are a couple of these missing. We're going to need to put them on these little weights on the scale, but to balance them and to know which ones to put where is based on this. We need to have each part of the scale needs to have 2 metals with a piece of wood that adds up to 100. But since I'm missing those couple, I can't use it yet. Let's look in the nursery. This was where Matt had been staying. A crow. Picking up some kind of jewel. Okay, this is a puzzle. Let's see. No. Okay. All right. And I get one of those missing gears. And another token. Okay, so this was, the nursery here was the room of Brendan's daughter, Fiona. And here's her dollhouse that Kyler mentioned. And you arrange the dolls according to this sheet. And there will be several more of these doll arrangement sheets as the game unfolds. Wrong place. And they become more and more challenging. So some of these show like red shows directly next to or directly above, which makes it easy. But then, so as time goes on, there are less of those, and they're more. You have to solve them on your own. I mean, there are more blue lines and almost no red lines. So let's see. I think that's another token. Okay. Okay, here's the piece that the crow dropped, and it looks like some of those are missing. Ooh, I guess something happens when they're all pushed in the order of the rainbow, as the indicator shows here with this. All 7 colors, and whoa, look at glasses. Could those be Matt's? Well, before I go talk to Kyler about this, I want to go downstairs and meet Kit, their friend, Matt's friend. But first I want to show you. Can't get up to the tower because of the what the explosion did. If you try to make a jump for it, it's second chance and game over, so I'm not gonna take that chance. Okay, here's one of those weights.
I shouldn't go messing with this without permission.
Oh, looks like some kind of binary code plate. Binary codes are, in computers, codes with just zeros and ones. They're just those 2 numbers, hence why they're called binary. Oh, and another token, so I have just enough to put them in here and ask for a fortune. If you make a bunch of, request a bunch of fortunes, then you'll get an award. Here's the second weight. Love is blind. What they give you is just these little pieces of advice. Sometimes they're quotes made by characters from previous games. Oh, is that Kit with Kyler? Okay, here's Kit.
Hi, you must be Nancy Drew. I'm Kit Foley. Ignore the eye if you can. Walked into a door the other day. Looks worse than it feels. I'm a bit surprised you're still here, given the circumstances.
I was going to say the same about you.
I'm not about to leave Kyler here by herself. Until she comes to her senses, I'm staying put.
What do you mean, comes to her senses?
Matt isn't playing a practical joke, and he hasn't been kidnapped by fairies. He got cold feet and left. It's as simple as that.
Are you sure?
Well, Matt didn't come out and tell me he was leaving. But hey, I am his best friend. I know him better than anybody. I mean, he loves Kyler, but she can be a handful. And he's no pushover either. Their relationship is so tempestuous, it scares him. She thinks once he makes a real commitment, everything will be fine. But he's not so sure. So he bailed.
Without saying anything to her?
I'm sure he'll contact her in another day or two. In the meantime, she's in a raging state of denial, and I, for one, don't see any harm in allowing her to stay that way. I seriously doubt he walked out on her for good. It's just that for Matt, marriage is way too much, way too soon.
When or how did you realize that Matt had disappeared?
Kyler and I went for a walk, came back, and the next thing I knew, Kyler was saying Matt was nowhere to be found.
Where did you last see him?
In the nursery. He always seemed to be in the nursery fiddling with things. Whenever I'd tease him about it, he'd always give me this impish little grin like he was up to something. When I checked the nursery and saw that Matt's suitcase and backpack were gone, it finally dawned on me that he had left and he wasn't coming back. Of course, by that time, Kyler had convinced herself that he was simply playing one of his practical jokes, and I couldn't bring myself to burst her bubble, so I didn't.
How come you sound so American?
Because I am American. My father's VP of International Sales for Krollmeister Incorporated. The company transferred him to London 15 years ago. I've pretty much lived there ever since. I just can't seem to pick up the accent.
It looks like you're drawing something. Are you an artist?
Me? Not hardly. I'm with a real estate development company. These are just preliminary sketches for a couple of projects we're working on. In other words, I'm doing homework.
Residential real estate or commercial?
Mostly residential. And let me tell you, we'd have a field day with attractive land like the one this castle sits on. Ocean view, easy commute to Donegal, bedrock foundation, readily accessible groundwater. That bog's a bit problematic, but a little sand, a little gravel, a little landscaping, voila! A cluster of 6, maybe 8 luxury homes amid a park-like setting that would sell like lightning.
I better get going. See ya.
Drop by anytime.
Okay, let's go back to Kyler because we found she reveals, yes, are Matt's glasses, but she'll also have a job for Nancy.
Nancy, splendid timing. I just thought of something you can do for me. There's an old-fashioned printing press downstairs. Have you seen it?
It's so big, it's pretty hard to miss.
It came with the castle. My great-uncle Brendan had all sorts of gizmos and gadgets and machinery lying around. Anyway, when I saw the printer, I told Matt why not save some money and print the programs for the wedding right here. Problem is, Matt failed to get them done before he turned into the merry prankster. And since I have the mechanical aptitude of a bacterium, would you mind finishing the job for me? You'd only have to print 3 more sheets. And the plate, the ink, the paper, everything you need is right there.
No problem.
Thank you, Nancy. You're the best.
Okay, well, I'll do that and then tell her about the glasses, but now that I've got the weights, I want to work on the puzzle here. First, let me show again what they are. So they have to add up to 100. 2 metals, and a piece and a wood. Let's see. Okay, so first one will be iron, silver, and mahogany. Next one, brass, copper, and ironwood. Then lead, zinc, and oak. Okay, as you see, nothing's happening yet, but that's because it's... Oh, the missing tile piece. I'll take that out soon. First, I'll work on printing the programs. Then I'll come back to Kyler and report about Matt's glasses. Okay, so what you have to do is take the black ink, put it on the program there, put a sheet of paper, roll it in, and put it on the dryer here. Then you put it in the basket.
Alan Payne. That's kind of weird.
That's the best man, instead of Kit. Alright, so now I need to print out 2 more. Okay, now I'll go back to Kyler.
Did you finish the programs?
Yep. But I noticed that they say the best man is someone named Alan Payne. If Kit is Matt's best friend, why isn't Kit the best man?
Matt said that's the way Kit wanted it. He got here early too. But when Matt vanished, Alan was certain that Matt was playing a joke and refused to be the butt of it. So he went back to London, saying he'll reappear only when Matt does and not a moment before. You know, perhaps you should give Alan a call. 0044-020-7946-0481. He may have seen something while he was here that could help you find Matt. You'll have to use the phone down the road at the inn, however. My cell phone gets absolutely no reception here.
Yeah, because I don't have Nancy's phone now.
I found these glasses in the fireplace in the nursery.
Those are Matt's. You found them in the fireplace.
Did you look there when you were searching for Matt?
Of course not. Why would we look in the fireplace? Matt never, ever took his glasses off. Mostly because without them, he can't see 2 feet in front of him.
Did he have an extra pair?
It's possible. Any normal person with eyesight as bad as his would have had 10 extra pairs. But how did those get broken? Oh, Nancy, maybe he truly is in trouble.
Well, let me do some more looking around before we jump to any conclusions.
Well,
The
obviously
glasses
they
could still just
fell
be
off
part of an
his
elaborate
face.
Practical joke.
You're absolutely right. Please find him, Nancy. I do so want to strangle him.
If Matt was staying in the nursery, where's his luggage?
Right there by his cot.
It's not there now.
But it was there, just last night. I remember seeing it when I peeked in to see if he'd finally decided to reappear. At least, I think I saw it last night. If it's not there now, perhaps Denol moved it, took it to storage or something. Because I know I saw it after Matt went missing. So it's around here somewhere, just like he's around here somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Did you know when you decided to hold your wedding here that half the place is pretty much rubble?
Oh, yes. Mind you, I didn't even know that Castle Malloy existed until Grandpapa died and I was notified that I'd inherited it. At which point the executor of his estate sent me pictures and assured me that despite its appearance, it was in fact habitable.
It looks like a bomb went off in it.
No doubt because one did. One summer night in 1944, this place, or half of it at least, just suddenly blew up. It was rumored that my great-uncle Brendan was working on something that involved a new kind of rocket fuel. He was killed along with his wife and young daughter. Apparently, they all just vaporized. Which I guess is why Denol claims the nursery, where the little girl spent most of her time, is haunted.
I'm gonna go play detective now.
Good luck.
Okay, so I'm gonna go outside and do a few things. Call Alan, put that tile piece back in place, and talk to Denal at the inn. What the heck?
Where are those lights in the tower coming from?
Okay, so now I got the lantern, and there are going to be a couple of places that light up. So, like, and I want to check them out. Here's one, the garden. And most of them will be significant later. There's that crow again.
Wonder what that crow's doing in there.
If you fool around with these leprechauns, you can get an award. Try one more time. Oh. I, Kyler, choose you, Matt. Are these her wedding vows, perhaps? Okay, let's go back onto the pathway and cross the bridge. Alright, here's the missing piece. And it gives me another binary code plate. Now let's go to the inn, call Alan, and talk to Denal. And this is why I need the phone card. Yeah, see, cell phone, I don't know what happens if she loses it or it gets busted from the crash. And so this is the only time I can use a phone in the game. But I won't be needed again after this phone call.
My name is Nancy Drew. I'm calling from Castle Malloy. I'm Kyler Mallory's maid of honor.
Yes, I remember that name. Has Matthew finally put an end to that ridiculous prank of his?
No, I'm afraid he's still at it. But if you have a second, could I ask you some questions?
It should be a minute or two before my ride gets here. What's on your mind?
Do you have any idea where Matt may be hiding?
None. And if what you're really asking is, am I in on his little joke? The answer to that is absolutely, unequivocally, no. I detest practical jokes.
Did you help look for Matt after he disappeared?
I did not. As soon as Kyler said it would be just like Matt to disappear as a prank, I refused to join in any search for him. And when he didn't show up the next morning, I left. I did not travel all the way to Ireland to be made a fool of. Besides, I'd had quite enough of the three of them and rather liked having an excuse to leave.
You didn't get along with them?
I was fine. They're the ones who couldn't seem to get along. For instance, the evening before Matt disappeared, he and Kit had a terrible row. I couldn't make out exactly what was being said, but they both sounded very angry. Furious, I dare say. In fact, the next time I saw Kit, he was sporting a black eye. And the next morning, Matt and Kyler had a go at each other. Nothing physical, mind you, and once again, I couldn't make out what was said, but I promise you, they were quite put out with each other. I was more than happy to bid the lot of them farewell, though I imagine I'll be returning to the castle before too long. Matt is bound to find his prank as tedious as everyone else does eventually. I must be off. Nancy, it was a pleasure venting to you. Hopefully before
A pleasure
too long we
venting
will
to
meet
you.
in person. Cheers.
I would hardly call that conversation, venting. But what the heck. Now let's talk to Denal.
So, you're not so keen on staying at the castle after all, then?
I'm staying there. I just wanted to talk to you.
Come to me for a bit of aid and advice, did you? Well, I've got none to give. Not till I got the day's troubles behind me and a crow's nest in front of me.
I don't blame you a bit. I also have no idea what you're talking about.
The mixmaid suddenly took ill, leaving poor Seamus on his own, running back and forth, trying to mix and serve at the same time. I heard her soon as I walked in, yet here I sit, dying of thirst. I'll do no talking till I get me crow's nest, and there's the sorry truth of the matter. But now, were some spry and spunky lass to lend poor Seamus a hand by taking over the mixing for a while, that would surely speed the plough.
Sounds good to me. I'll see to it you get your crows, whatever, ASAP.
Gonna play mixmaid for a while, are ya? Well, here's what you're to do. I'll take the orders and put the tickets up here. Each ticket will have no more than 2 drinks on it. And to save time, I draw little pictures instead of writing out their names. The mixing book will tell you which little picture stands for what drink. It'll also tell you what's in each drink and how to make each drink. Now, to pour something, put the silver mixing glass under either the juice tap or the beer tap. Then, press whatever button the mixing book tells you to press. The book will also tell you how many times to press it. If the drink needs blending, you'll see a picture of a blender at the top of the column in the book. You're to put the solid ingredients into the blender first. Then, pour whatever's in the mixing glass into the blender. Then, press the red button. And when the blending's done, just reach under the counter and find the serving glass that's pictured in the book. Put the serving glass on the grey mat and pour everything from the blender into the serving glass. If the drink doesn't need blending, just find the right serving glass, put it on the grey mat, and pour everything you've poured into the mixing glass into the serving glass. Then, add anything else the book tells you to add, put the serving glass on the tray to the right of the ticket it goes to, and start fixing the next drink. As soon as you've made all the drinks on a ticket, ring the bell and I'll serve them up. Just remember, if the orders start coming thick and fast and the tickets start piling up, you're to make the drinks on the ticket closest to the bell first. Now, you'll be making no mistakes, I'm sure. But if you do, just toss the glass into the rubbish bin down there to the right and start over. Mind you, lass, you must do the mixing fast and proper. The quicker you mix, the more tips you'll be keeping. To work with you now.
Okay. Not going to talk while I do this because I want to focus.
You do fine work, miss.
One, two, three, four, one.
You do fine work, miss.
One of these two have to be Donnell's crow's nest.
You do fine work, miss. All done and dusted, are ya? Thank you, miss. Take what's in the tip jar. And the next time you help out, you can keep the tips then as well.
9 is the tips. Tokens is the max amount of tips you can get.
Now,
And if you make
tell you what happened
more
to
and
the
more
Sassenach
drinks, you can get an award for that.
I'm sorry. Happened to the what?
The Sassenach, the Englishman,
The
the one
Sassenach.
Kyler was supposed to
Sassenach.
be marrying. Well, what happened to him is this. The she took him. The good people whisked him straight off to their world, they did.
By the good people, you mean fairies?
You'll not be hearing me call him that. All of us have a name we prefer, and with them, the good people it is. So that's what I call him, and you'd be wise to do the same.
Okay.
Just what are these good people going to do with him?
Whatever they please. He's in their world now, and he'll not be coming back. That's as much of the truth as we'll ever know. 'Tis not the first time the good people have seen fit to meddle in the affairs of Castle Malloy. Caused the explosion they did.
The one that destroyed half the castle?
Brendan, his wife, Caitlin, used to own this place, she did. Aye, and their little girl, Fiona. All three were lost to the world forever when the place blew. But the blame lay not with Malloy. It was the good people. They'd taken a shine to Fiona, his wife, and they knew that little girls, no matter how much they're adored by wee folk or mortals, sooner or later, all little girls grow up and grow old. The good people couldn't bear to see this happen to their beloved Fiona.
And they're called
so
the
they
good
made full
people.
sure
Why?
it never did.
Sounds to me like the good people are actually just the opposite.
Agreed.
They have their ways, and we have ours, is all. That's just the way of things. Got plans for you, they do.
The fairies? The good people? What makes you say that?
I meant to pocket your car keys for safekeeping on my way over here, but I couldn't find them.
You mean my keys weren't in the car?
Aye, that's exactly my meaning. Taken they were. The good people want you to be staying.
The name of this place. Just what exactly is a banshee?
A woman, one of the good people, as alive as you and me, with wild hair almost as long as the tattered grey robe billowing up around her whenever she appears. Sometimes she takes on the form of a hooded crow, but it's the sound she makes, her terrible wailing, that strikes fear in the human heart. Because when a mortal hears the wail of a banshee, it means someone is about to die.
I saw someone with long hair and a gray robe outside the castle tonight.
Did you know?
It ran across the road in front of me. That's why my car's in the ditch.
Not till I was 54 did I see a banshee. To see one at your age, on your very first night in Ireland. A special lass you are indeed.
There's no other explanation for what I saw?
There might be 24 explanations for what you saw. But none, save one, is the truth.
Do you dislike all Englishmen as much as you dislike Matt Simmons? Or is he special somehow?
I've little use for any Sassenach, but I took a disliking to this one as soon as I laid eyes on him. Arrogant he was, cocky, disrespectful, foolish, always touching things he shouldn't, going places he didn't belong. Worse than a stray dog, that one was.
What about Kyler?
Aye, Kyler. She's different. She belongs here. It's in her blood. It's the reason she does naught but read up in the library. She'll not be leaving Ireland, mark my words. And if she winds up marrying Mr. Foley, all the better.
So, Kit, you like?
Aye, he may talk like a Yank and live like a Brit, but there's Irish in the lad. I saw it right off. Little wonder he's in love with the girl. They'll make a fine pair.
Well, it looks like they were a pair
Not in love
before.
with Kyler?
Blind, are you now? Loves her, he does indeed. He's all but wearing a sign saying so. He came to the wedding early to make sure there'd never be a wedding. Only the good people saw to that for him. Ah, the
Look of the Irish.
Guess I'll go now.
Be careful out there, lass.
All right, let's see what else there is to see on the castle grounds. I think I tried to mention this before, but I didn't want to get to it at the beginning, that when you play the games in the end. Oh, some symbols. I don't know which ones to push, though. You have to use all 8 of the darts to get a score of 0. If you get 0 before all the darts are used, you don't get a prize. And as for the difference detective game, I'll make a video of that someday showing all 10 images and the differences between 10 pairs of images and show the differences between them. Okay, I'm getting too close to the edge here. Hey, that looks like an entrance there. There's something else here. Here we go. Some crosses. And each of them has a different year, but can't do anything with them yet. Let's go back into the castle, see if there's anything new I can say to Kit or Kyler. Especially since I've talked to Denal and Alan.
How's it going?
Alan Payne told me he overheard you and Matt arguing the day before Matt disappeared. And pretty much right before you walked into that door.
What were you doing talking to Alan Payne?
I thought he might know something that could help us find Matt.
I told you, Matt bailed. He doesn't want to be found. Look, Alan Payne doesn't really know Matt or me, okay? Matt asked him to be his best man because he works with the guy and thought it was the politically smart thing to do.
And your point is?
He misunderstood what he heard. Matt and I have been friends for more than 12 years. We were just fooling around.
Fooling around? You ended up with a black eye.
I told you that was an accident. I'm clumsy.
What were you two talking about?
I forget. That's how inconsequential it was. Hey, I just remembered. Carla wants me to do the seating chart for the wedding dinner. Like I said, I can't bring myself to tell her there's not going to be a wedding. Anyway, I need to get to work on it.
What's with the little air quotes as if you're saying this isn't really going to happen. Well, he doesn't think it will be obvious. It will happen, obviously.
Where guests should sit by taking into account their needs and preferences. What do you say?
Sure, I can do that.
Excellent. Just fill it out and bring it back to me when you think you've got everyone sitting in the right place. Because unless and until it gets done, afraid I'm going to be pretty much incommunicado.
Okay, I'll do it now. Now, when you get something right, Nancy will usually say so automatically, but in this case, Kit will tell you if it's right or wrong. So, I'm going to put these in place, and it's easy to do because here is obviously the bride and the groom and their main people, the maid of honor and the best man. And what's interesting is that each of almost except for Kit, the other guests attending are the names of characters from previous games, like Henry Bollet, Laurie Gerard, Heather McKay from Secret of the Scarlet Hand, Last Train to Blue Moon Canyon, and Danger by Design, respectively. Interesting way to go. Can't have any people of the same color or people of the same gender next to each other, so I think that's all correct.
How's the seating chart coming?
Could you take a look at it?
You bet. This looks great.
Great.
Wow, you did it. I'm impressed.
So now we can talk.
Yeah, now we can talk. Oh, hey, actually, you might want to take a look at this first. I found it on the floor in Matt's room when I was looking for him.
What is it?
Frankly, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but maybe it will to you. Take it. If anybody can figure out what Matt was doing with
So he wanted to avoid talking to Nancy. Gave her that. All right, well, it was hard to notice, but look, there are shamrocks on here with, sometimes they're like one shaded darker green than others, or a couple have two, or one is just all light green. But look how each of them starts with the first letter in each paragraph is bigger than the other. Well, these have to do with the leprechauns out in the garden, so let me go out there and show you how to do it. It's a hidden indication on how to arrange them, which way turn, right, forward, backward, right or left. That's what those letters stand for. So let me show you. So like this one has to be facing forward because that's what the F means. This one, the leprechaun with this symbol, has to be facing to the right. This one has to be facing back, left, forward, right, back. Okay, so it's facing right, left, back. That stays because it's facing forward, right, back. All right, and that was good to stay there. And whoa, it looks like, oh, those must be the missing gems from the nursery. Now I can put them all back. And another homemade doll and another token. So now I've got all of those 7 gems of the rainbow colors. So yes, that means that, which I figured out the first time I played this, that pushing those gems in the correct sequence of the colors of a rainbow will open something. So you got red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, which many people overlook, and violet. Yep, it opens something, a very vital clue. Take this wood board and some kind of instructions. Now let's go out.
What is that?
God, that crow. No one likes a bird coming right down at your face. Oh my landlord. Is that the creature that ran out in front of me at the beginning of the game? Wow. I'd be pretty frightened too.
You're right. There has to be a logical explanation for what we just saw. So I'm going to calm down, relax, and trust that you will discover what that thing was.
Thing?
You're all going to figure it out, aren't you, Nancy?
I promise.
Alright, now, I'll go outside and use what this wood board is for, but first I want to talk to Kit.
Did you hear something just now? Like someone screaming? Or was it just the wind?
Actually, it was Kyler. She and I saw someone with long white hair reaching in through the window of the nursery. Kyler screamed, and whoever or whatever it was disappeared.
How could someone reach in through the window? The nursery's on the second floor.
Whoever we saw looked like the person that ran
She
across
was
the road
flying,
when I first
but
arrived.
how?
If Matt were still around, I'd say it was him. But since he's not around, maybe Denal has sprouted wings.
Now finally I can talk to the picture I saw.
From the looks of that picture I found over there, it looks like you and Kyler used to be an item.
Yeah, we dated for a while. Didn't last, though. Now we're just good friends. In fact, I was the one who introduced her to Matt. You sure ask a lot of questions.
Is he still in love with her, though? Is that why
Nancy Drew.
Denal's
Kyler told
saying
me about
that?
you. You're the girl who likes to play detective.
Well, it's just, kind of a hobby. Although Kyler did say it'd be nice if I could find Matt.
Well, you're not going to have any luck doing that. Old Matt is long gone.
Kyler says sometimes she hears Matt's voice, only it's very faint and muffled. Do you ever hear him?
No. Man, Kyler must be losing it or something, because I'm telling you, Matt is not here.
The caretaker seems to think you're the one who should be getting married here, not Matt.
Yeah, well, in case you haven't noticed, that guy's got several screws loose. I just happened to mention that 3 out of my 4 grandparents were born in Ireland, and now whenever he sees me, he gets this weird look in his eye.
But you don't think he had anything to do with Matt's disappearance?
No. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He and Matt did not get along. They were always at each other's throats, arguing about the stupidest things. Even those leprechaun gnome things out in the garden. Denal had a fit one day when he saw Matt messing with them. And when Matt announced he was going to stay in the haunted nursery, I thought the guy was going to burst a blood vessel, he turned so red. But Matt disappeared on his own, not because of anything Denal did. I mean, the old coot's not that crazy.
Is he?
That discussion you had with Matt? Come on, really. What was it about?
It was about Kyler. I was asking Matt whether he had truly thought through what being married to her was going to be like. The more questions I asked, the more nerves I struck, and the more uncomfortable and angry he became, until finally,
He gave you that shiner.
he stomped upstairs to the nursery. Next day, he disappeared. Obviously, the things I said got to him. So if I seem a little guilty to you, it's because I am guilty. It's my fault that Matt walked out on Kyler. Simple as that.
Have you ever been up in the tower?
Uh-uh. You saw the stairs, or what's left of them. There's no way to get up there.
I could have sworn I saw lights coming from it.
Perhaps it was the good people come calling on their good friend, Denal.
Or maybe it was just reflected moonlight or something. So if you're thinking Matt's up there, forget it. Ain't no way.
Time for me to scoot.
See ya.
Okay, so that wood board that I got in those little paper with directions, that's what it looks like, are meant for down here. Kit mentioned something earlier about a bog. And that's what I'm going to need to use them for, to safely cross the bog. Banshee Lady again. So, if you just take a step forward, you're gonna sink like a log. So first you have to put the board on, then you're gonna work out like a maze to get through this safely. And so this tells you how to interpret these stone markers. They don't have everyone on there, but just from the sheet of paper with what the markers mean, you can figure out what others mean that aren't listed mean too. So this means forward 1, and you just follow each stone marker like once, one at a time. So like this one means this is right 2, so this means right 1, and that should be forward 2, I think. Okay, so I need to take the forward another step. When you have stone markers in between like this, you ignore them. They're meant to try to throw you off. So I'll go forward one more time. Now, this is right 2. But went right once. Ignore this marker. Do not step back, otherwise you'll sink. So go right again. And forward 2. Ignore that. Go forward the second time. Okay, so this means left 4, because it's not on here, but this means left 3, so the extra stone here on the marker means you go left 4, and again, ignore that. I have to keep going left. 3, 4. Okay, now that's down or back. That's down 2, because this is down 1. So 1, 2. And that will be left 2. That's down 3. 2, 3. Okay, left 2. Forward 1. Okay, left 1. Forward 2. Right 1. Forward 2. Right 2. Forward 2. Right 1. Forward 1. Oh, thank goodness. Now I'm at the bog hut, and no more mazes after that. So just remember, concentrate on each individual marker and wait to cross the next one after you've done all the steps for one marker. If you take a misstep or try to go in the direction where other markers are in the way, you're going to sink. But no more mazes after that. I'll just get safely from the bog to the hut. Ugh. I need that piece of glass there, but I gotta make an insect repellent, according to this book. Let's see. Bug bane, so that's what I gotta make. Mix together parts of tansy, pennyroyal, wormwood, thyme, and catnip. Okay. Let's see. And you put it in here with the mortar and pestle to mix it up. Tansy, pennyroyal, wormwood, thyme, and catnip. It gives me this little mixture. I'll pick it up from the inventory. Go right over there. See if it works. Okay, it did. If you use the wrong ingredient, though, like if you put in something extra or you forget an ingredient, it's not going to work. But I got it, and oh, another doll arrangement sheet.
Looks like I need a key.
It looks like the inhabitant is making this doll. Is this where our Banshee Lady lives? Is she the one making these dolls? Hey, looks like some kind of jetpack. Let's go back up to the castle. Oh, but first, actually, I need to use the glass for the crosses here. Let's see if I... Here we go. Hey, these look like symbols I saw on the wall near the castle. Let's go there. So notice the crosses though, 1801, 1916, 1845. Well, that's an important clue. To unlock what's on the other side of this wall, you have to push the symbols associated with the respective year in that order. So this is the one from 1801, so that's first. 1845, then 1916. Alright, let's see what this holds. Well, this is where all the sheep are. And notice, like, it's a clue on the other side, too. When you see these little pathways here that usually will lead you to something. This must be the sheep pen. And look here on this wind chime, that's the other gear I need. So, let's go finish that gear puzzle. And let's check out what all there is here. Remember, if it lights up in blue, that you can get close up to it, interact with it. Oh, a sketch that Kit made? Oh, the crow again. But there's one other place we gotta check out here. Okay. Alright, here we are. Some stone pillars. Hey, that looks like a zodiac constellation. Yep, Taurus, I recognize that. But I don't recognize what these are on the third piece of the pillar. So these obviously are trees that associate with meaning different seasons. So these all associate with the seasons of 4 seasons. But I can't do this yet. Nah. Now I'll go inside the castle. Nah. Okay, let me do the gear puzzle, then I'll talk to Kyler. I think it's important to talk to her about the sketch I found. Okay. You have to alternate, with this puzzle you have to alternate between small and big gears. Oh, didn't mean to touch it. You have to have them all touching each other to have the gear, to make the gears work. Okay, that should be good. But you have to switch between big and small. Yeah, make sure they're all touching each other. Okay. See, a couple of these are darker because they're fit right because they're like custom made within the in this. I mean, you can't take them out. They're permanently set in there. No. I think maybe this needs to be moved a little bit. Okay, that should do it. There we go. And it gives me another dollhouse doll arrangement sheet, which I better work on. I'll work on with the one I just picked up at the bog, but now I'll talk to Kyler.
Have a lead? Mostly I have a question. Do you know anything about this sketch? I found it outside.
It looks like a drawing for some kind of housing development, for the land the castle sits on.
Apparently Kit did them. Did you ask him to?
No, and I seriously doubt Matt did either. Kit must have done those on his own. The question is, why? Anyway, I thought of something else you can do for me. Since there's a possibility, however remote, that there are forces at work around here that none of us completely understands, I think it only prudent to do what I can to counteract them. To that end, I would like to include these herbs and flowers in my wedding bouquets. According to Irish lore, each of them is believed to be associated with things I could use a little more of right now. If you could pick them for me and put them in that vase over there, that would be wonderful. Here's a basket. This, of course, means that in spite of whatever it was I saw in the nursery, I still believe there will indeed be a wedding, because no matter who or what took Matt, you're going to find him, Nancy. I have to believe that. Please don't let me down.
I'd better get to work.
As soon as you find out anything, let me know.
Okay, let me work on the one doll puzzle before I forget. So let's... Can't use that because that's with the sheep doll. Okay, but there's this one to do. Let's see. I think you can get an award if you have a doll in all of each of the rooms here, the 6 rooms. You don't get an award for doing them all. If I put this here and then click the button, I could get an award for that because I have a doll in every single one of the separate rooms here. But I gotta take this out and I'll put. All right, another token. Now, before I start my flower hunting, let me go to Kit and ask about the sketch.
What's going on?
I found the sketch you did on the ground outside. What's it for?
What, that? I was just messing around. See, I'm into real estate, and whenever I see an interesting tract of land, I like to sketch out how I'd develop it. Just to, keep the juices flowing. It doesn't mean anything. I was just doodling.
Great, so it's okay if I keep this.
Sure. Go right ahead.
There's a little uncertainty in his voice there.
Have you ever been to the little hut that's in the
Like he doesn't want her to keep it.
No. Don't tell me you've been traipsing through the bog. Are you nuts? That stuff's like quicksand.
You just gotta watch your step.
Well, if you go missing, at least we'll know where to look.
Time for me to scoot.
Stay out of trouble.
Okay, let me look at the list of flowers and herbs. Gotta go back to the bog house to get one of those items. Not a flower, but the herb. Sage. Saw it hanging above the table. And let me see if I can get that sheep doll, too. Then the 6 flowers I'll find on different lit up areas in the castle grounds.
That sheep doll needs stuffing.
Okay. While I'm doing this, though, I also want to talk to Denal if he knows anything about the stone pillars. Okay, there is this, flowers that, kind of flower that can be found in the garden. I think the rose. Here's one that, let's see, which flower's that? Yarrow? That book in the bog tells about the different flowers as well as herbs. I didn't remember what their names or what they look like, except I only know a couple. But let's see. Garden's right up here, of course. Oh, not here. Here we go. I want to cross the bridge because I can get a couple of flowers around here. There's one. Let's see, which one was that? How do you... Vervain? I can't really read the letters that well when it in certain ways sometimes people write. When they had like unique cursive or styling to that, it's hard for me to read it. Oh, I forgot to pick one up at the bog. On the ground before, out next to the bog, not at the bog hut, but just okay, right here. Let's see which one was. Okay, I'm not sure now what they all are since I haven't looked at every single one, but I think lavender is the last one to get. But before I do that, I'm gonna go to the inn and talk to Denal about the pillars.
What's on your mind, then?
Sometimes I hear this strange kind of wailing sound when I'm in the castle. Have you ever heard it?
These ears don't work so well now. Even the pattern of rain is beginning to slip by 'em. But the situation being what it is, by my reckon, a banshee, you heard.
You mean someone in the castle is going to die?
Aye.
Someone as in Matt?
How they know what they know, and why they do what they do, are mysteries far beyond mortal solution. But be assured, lass, someone at Castle Malloy is doomed.
What do you know about the stone pillars with all the weird writing on them?
I've never been able to make heads or tails of them. Even bought me a book on Ogham runes. Waste of good money, that was.
Ogham runes?
All those lines. Ancient Celtic symbols they are. Runes. Spell out something. I lack the time and patience to work out just what.
I wouldn't mind having a go at it. Do you think I could borrow your book?
Sorry to say, I'm not in a lending mood at the moment, lass. A wee bit of me favourite drum music would put me right, but the band can't be playing it because their drummer took sick. Looking for someone to take his place, they are.
I could probably fill in. I mean, not permanently, but...
Go to it then. One ditty is all. Play it well enough, and the book will be yours. Seamus will help you get started.
What a fine lass you are for helping out the band. Now here's what you do. Watch the cue. When it reaches the drum, just hit the corresponding section of the bowline with the beater. Keep doing that till the song's over. And if you've kept the beat well enough, the band will split their tips with you. They're about to start. Just watch the bar, keep your wits about you, and you'll do fine.
Okay, I'm not going to talk while I do this puzzle because I need to concentrate. So here I start.
Brilliant! Here's your share of the tips.
Sweet as clover to the honeybee, that was. Here's the book. Keep it as long as you like. I'll not soon have need of it.
I think you have to get like at least 50 strikes on the drum correct using the arrow keys and the space bar, and the maximum tips you can get is 5.
Will you be wanting something else from me then?
Have you ever been to the other side of the bog?
Do I look daft to you now? There's no walking across the bog. Once you fall in, there's no getting out. When I was your age, younger even, there was talk of an old gypsy woman who kept house in the bog, living all by herself, crazy as could be. But a tall tale is all it was. You stay clear of that bog, girl. There be no crossing it. Not if you're fond of living.
I'll let you drink your crow's nest in peace.
Be careful out there, lass.
All right. So now that I have that book, I'm going to try to solve that puzzle while also getting the last flower, the lavender, I think. That's there too. Okay. Ah! Okay. So again, these have to... Jeepers. Okay, so these all have to do with the 4 seasons. Let's take a look at these. And so... These Owen runes, they talk about in here 4 seasonal, I don't know if holidays are the right word to put, but that just fall in between each of the 4 seasons. That's what these runes are meant to be saying. So clockwise we have to go summer to spring. So like this is easy to start because you can see the Taurus sign right there in the sky. So that's set correctly and it'll be summertime. So I have to have the tree set this, and that means the festival celebrated during that time was Beltane. You have to have the rune spelled out that for Beltane like this. And so since this is summer, this will be fall, and that tree's set correctly. The Leo sign is that, and the festival is Lugnaza. I don't know if I said that right, but I think that's it. So then that's fall. Next is winter. You have the Scorpio and winter tree, barren of leaves. I think this is right. Samhain. Then spring, Aquarius symbol, and thus new leaves, and then Imbolg. There we go. It opens up that little plate passageway. Once you do it right, opens up, and another binary code plate. Yippee. Okay, so now I'm up on the ground, and right here is where I get the lavender flower. So I think that... Let's see, so I got lavender here. It's at the... Let's see, it's at where I got the bug. That was the foxglove flower. On the road it was vervain. No, that was larkspur. At the castle gate, the archway had vervain. And now something to hear. Matt's luggage? And that ring with the place with the lone flower, that was yarrow. So I think, yeah, now I got them all. So let's go give them to Kyler. But why isn't Kit there?
Those were just some sketches I made because I was bored.
Talking about the sketch.
Then what are you asking?
Nothing.
But why are you trying to tell me there's not going to be a wedding?
Because Matt is gone.
Matt would never walk out on you. Never.
He still loves you, Kyler, but he's not ready to get married, and he just didn't know how to tell you.
Oh, so you told me to tell me. Or was it really your idea? What did you tell him, Kit? That I still have feelings for you? That it isn't over between us? Because it is. You know that, don't you? It is most definitely over.
I better not go in there.
So now the conversation is muffled, but don't worry, just go in the room for a moment, then go back out and see Kyler.
You've picked all the flowers? Yep. Go ahead and put them in that vase. There you go. Splendid. Anything else to report?
I found Matt's luggage hidden behind the cots downstairs by Kit's things.
How did it get down there?
It kind of looked like Kit was hiding it.
Oh, don't be silly. Why would Kit do a thing like that? Well, anyway, that's a good thing. It means Matt's still around here, just as I've been saying all along. Anything else to report?
Nope.
I'd better get to work.
Anytime you want to talk, I'll be right here.
Now let's talk to Kit about finding Matt's luggage.
What's going on?
I found Matt's luggage in here, right over there.
What? Over where?
It was behind the cots.
How did it get there?
Looks to me like someone was trying to hide it.
Well, it wasn't me. Matt hid it. Oh my gosh. He didn't go back to London. He's been here the whole time. Kyler was right. Oh my gosh.
You think he's just pulling one of his pranks?
He must be. And I fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. The worst part is, if he's just playing a joke, it means he intends to go through with the wedding after all. Big mistake, Matty, my boy. Big mistake.
I couldn't help but overhear the discussion you and Kyler had in the library.
That sure didn't go like I planned. All this talk of fairy kidnappings and practical jokes, I just thought it was time to clear the air. But what happens? Not only did she accuse me of being the bad guy in all this, but as it turns out, she had it right, and I had it wrong. Matt didn't walk out on her. His luggage proves it.
The part about your still having feelings for her, was she right about that too?
Yeah. As for what, if anything, I'm gonna do about it.
Oh, so he is in
I haven't
love
quite
with
figured
her
that out.
still.
I'd better get going. See ya.
See ya.
All right. See if we can talk to Denal about anything. Sometimes I may slip and call him Delaney sometime instead, probably because the alliteration of his name makes it easy for me to forget, but Delaney I know is also can be a first name, so
What's on your mind then?
Would you by any chance know how Matt's luggage wound up hidden behind the cots in the Great Hall?
That I would. I put it there. I told the Sassenach he was not to stay in Fiona's room, yet he did nonetheless. So, while he was out with the others, I took his bags and hid him, thinking to force him to leave her room. Wasted time, that was. Turns out the good people had something else in mind. Good at finding things, are ya?
As a matter of fact, I am very good at finding things.
Got something for you then.
A key?
Aye, to the sheep pen. The sheep I'm keeping on the castle grounds need bringing in so I can shear 'em first thing tomorrow.
You want me to bring them in?
There's 10 of 'em is all. With that lantern of yours, you'll be done before you know. Go on now, take it. Just walk the grounds, and whenever you come upon a sheep, blow a whistle, and back they'll go to the barn. When you think all 10 are in, go to the barn and make sure, then lock the place up, and that'll be that. Don't be looking at me like I've got 3 heads, lass. You can do it. Out with
The
you now.
face he
There's
makes
work to
when
be
he
done.
says, "Don't be looking at me like I've got 3 heads, lass." Okay, so that's why I have the whistle there that I won earlier. It'll be used to rein in the sheep. So I have to get all 10 of them in the pen, but if I'm slow in doing so, then some of the sheep will get out and it'll take me longer to do. And you gotta get close enough to whistle him, but if you get too close, like that's close enough, but if you go right up to it, it'll run away. There we go. Okay, now and I tell you though, it's kind of hard to round all 10 of them up in this because it's like the light can only spread out so far. Okay. And then that's how I can slow down when trying to find the last couple of sheep. Okay. Okay, halfway there. So like when I'm down to the last 2, then it gets harder to find them in time before they could possibly get out. All right. Oh, there's one. Not hearing a lot of bleats, so so gotta do this fast. Come on. Like I said, the light can only spread out so much, and of the lantern can only spread out so far, and oh. Okay, one more. I gotta work fast. As I said, the light from the lantern can only spread out so far to show me where all the sheep are, and then, wait, I think there's the last one. Alright. That feels like a little victory music, because now I got all 10 in, now I gotta hurry up to the sheep pen. Is that it? Yes. Just step in, then step out to lock it.
There, the paddock's all locked up.
Let's report this to Denal. I think I almost called him Delaney there again, so... Well, it is almost... It's alliteration, like I said, which makes it easy for me to mess up in remembering his right name, but they almost sound the same in phonetics. Maybe I can ask him if I can get some sheep wool.
The sheep are tucked away in the barn, then?
They sure are.
I knew you could do it, lass. Will you be wanting something else from me, then?
Since you're going to shear the sheep that are in the barn tomorrow anyway, would it be okay if I sheared one of them tonight?
You know how to shear a sheep, do ya?
Well, no, but I need some raw wool, and I figure it can't be that hard.
I'm willing to let you give it a try, but you'll not be finished till you've filled 3 bags. Do I have your word on it?
3 bags of wool, you got it.
All right, then. The book there in the barn will tell you how to operate all the equipment. Oh, and to get a sheep into the shearing station, just blow this tune on your whistle. Read the instructions, blow the whistle, and you'll be adding sheep shearing to your list of talents in no time at all.
Yeah, Nancy has quite an impressive resume and list of talents from all these cases, so sheep shearing will be another. Okay. Alright. So, okay, first I have to call the sheep in with the whistle. So, what you have to do is type in a number to shear it correctly, and you figure that out based on this numeric information here. The emotion that the sheep is showing, the color and family mentioned on here. Now, I think that's a happy sheep when it's like that, so that means 12, and what you do is then from these, you add them together to get the number to put in here before you shear it. So let's see, Ronan, 17, and red, that's 21, and since the sheep is happy, that should be 33. Whoa.
Now that's an interesting look.
Yes, there are 4 different looks the sheep can get. If you play to get all 4 of those, like even after I finish filling the bags of wool, then you'll get an award. Okay, so that sheep is calm, so that's 11. With burn, that's 34, and red, 38. If you make a mistake in calculating the number to punch in, the sheep will let out a panic bleat, and you'll have messed it up. Oh my. That's one freaky do. Okay, 2 sheep will fill up a bag of wool.
1 bag down,
2 bags to go. So now let's blow the whistle. Dun 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 dun. Okay, that sheep is angry because of its, yeah, there's different ways to tell what its emotion is. Like the last one, when it's motionless, it's calm. If it's jumping up and down, it's happy. If it's doing this, it's angry. And then there's continuous bleeding and panicked if it's like shaking and shaking as it moves around. Okay, so angry is 13 plus burn, makes 36 plus blue. That would be 45. Is that a sheep or a show dog? Okay, so that's 3 of the looks. I probably won't get all 4, but those 3 are the freakiest ones to me. At least the one with the huge ball of wool and all those bows. But the last one I just made makes it look like more like a dog or a poodle than actually. Okay, that's bleeding, so that's 15. Plus Ronan, 32. And brown, that makes 38. Okay, that's the 4th look. I may get my award for have them all getting these looks, but we'll see.
That's 2 bags. I promised Mr. Delaney I'd fill 3.
It's always going to be random when you play this. You may or may not. You may only get 2 looks or 3 by the time you're supposed to fill up the 3 bags. It's just once in a random timing for me to get all 4 of these different looks for the sheep. Okay, that's bleeding. So 15 and Ronan 32 with red 36. that one's that's the fourth look I got on just the last one. That's less interesting if you ask me. Less bizarre, a lot less bizarre. So it's not that hard. Just based on the sheep and the color and the name, that you get the full from all these number values. What you get to fill in the keypad. Okay, that's one is a panic sheep, so it's 16 plus keen, which is 21, so that makes 37, and then yellow is 44. So you add those values together from this information, the names, the colors, and the emotion of the sheep, enter it in the keypad, then shear it. And that'll be my last one. Well, 3 in a row of the same look, but I think I got them all, so who knows, maybe I could get the award. All right,
There.
all done, and I just need the wool here for that doll. Let's go fill it now. And use it for the sheet that I got with the picture of the sheep doll. Okay. Alright, here it is. Let's take it and use it in the dollhouse. It should be with that sheet that I got from the gear puzzle. I got tokens so far, but this one won't give me a token. Alright. Oh, they're over there. Okay, now I can finally use the dog doll. Whether or not, besides this matte doll, if these 3 dolls are supposed to be people at Kyler Kit, I honestly have no idea. Alright. Alright, let me try one more time just to make sure I could still get the award for having dolls in each part of the house, room of the house. Now I'll... Alright, the last binary code plate. Now, notice that there are I've got 4 of them, and this one especially has writing on it. I am going to have to use the printing press to figure out which one associates with which of the correct inks. But I figured that out from using this binary code information. Now it's I'm not going to take all the time, so much time trying to interpret what each of these codes can translate to and what they associate with the letter. And the letters are associated with the different inks. So like you have on the printing press, like you have M for magenta, yellow, Y for yellow, K for black, and then C for cyan blue. Cyan is a shade of blue. So what I'm just gonna like quickly bring up here is that, let's see, this one, according to the interpreter behind me, this binary code adds up to 67, and 67 is C. 67, yeah, 67 is C. That means that has to be on marked with cyan ink. This one obviously will be black because it has all this writing, but its value is 75, which is associated with K. Let's see, this one, 77, which is which it corresponds to M for magenta. And then the final one, this one, 89, which is corresponds to Y or yellow. So now I'm gonna go down to the printing press and make a sheet of paper with all 4 of these binary code plates with the correct inks. All right. Let me make sure I want to do this, make sure I'm doing this right. Because what I'll be printing out is instructions for that jetpack. How to work it. Okay. Okay, this one will be, so that one's yellow. And put it on there while I work with the rest. This one will be cyan. Like this. This one. This one I can always remember well because all that writing means it's obviously going to be black, but I always can always forget for the other 3. Okay. All right, so that's what it is. Jetpack startup sequence. That's what these are for. These are the instructions to start it up. Okay, we've got to dry it first. All right, all set. But I got to go outside to work on it because just got to do it in a big open space. All right, so let's see. Okay, first one. Spin this to the red triangle. Has to be 729. Press the black button, flip this down. The blue square to black. Slide lever to halfway point. Press yellow button, press red button. Turn this to red. Move number dial to 4. Flip this up. Flip this down. Press the go button.
Oh my gosh!
She's flying!
Woohoo! Woohoo!
Our first order of business, go up to the tower that we can't otherwise get to.
Matt, are you in here? Hello? Anybody here?
So with this jetpack, that must be how our mysterious Banshee lady is flying. And well, how do we open this? Well, there's one way. I briefly looked at it earlier, but there was that blue book in the nursery that said La Pin. Let's put that in. Oop. Okay, so that doesn't open it, but it gives you the last doll arrangement sheet, which is optional, but I'll show you it anyway. But to open it, there is a clue right in here. I'll take this with me. But we have to use the jetpack to fly to another location, which holds another clue to open up the roll-top desk. The rest will be in books that are in the library where Kyler is. This is the easiest one to do, but that N5 means that N is the 5th letter for the roll-top desk passcode. Wow. Just call her Peter Pan. Okay. So here are the list of the books, and notice that's the picture of the lock. So, and there's that little land that holds the 5th clue. I think I can barely see a 5 right on there, but these 4 books hold the clues to to the first 4 letters of the passcode. And now I just need to read them and interpret them. Let's see. Okay, hydroponics. 3 years into the study, that's the number, the number to which this letter is referencing. I find that the only remaining true consonant is key. So, like, within these books, there are written notes that are clues to that figuring out what the letters are. So the last consonant in this whole title is L. So that means the 3rd letter to the passcode is L. Let's see, I think that's the only one over here. The only book over here that I can pick up, is what I mean. Okay, this one's pretty easy. 1 year, the C's will await your notice. So C is the first letter. Okay. Before I look at that, this one, it's the clue for one of the other letters on the book on the shelf that's a little more challenging. So I wanted to show this clue for the 4th letter. The animals abound to merry round, seated in the middle on legs of 4. So this means they spin evermore. So seated in the middle, X is the middle letter here, so that's the 4th letter of the passcode. Now I wanted to do that second to last because it's this clue for the 2nd letter that's the most difficult, and I don't think I've ever really completed it. But because this has the notes here for the clue are the longest, but I'll just go ahead and tell you that the 2nd letter is in this title. It's Q. So CQLXN is the passcode to open up the roll top desk. But before I do that, I'll quickly show you the last optional doll puzzle. And this one, you can finally use the matte doll. I'm doing this because it will give an Easter egg, and I would like to get an Easter egg at the end as an award. Oh, wait, I forgot. I need another doll, so I apologize. We'll do that. Oh, I feel foolish for forgetting that. The Banshee lady again. Alright, let's fly up. Alright, so C, Q, my mistake. Here's the doll that I needed with the last doll arrangement.
Supposed to be me.
Yep, and that looks like her car keys, so obviously the Banshee lady took it to make this doll of her. Despite my reservations, Brendan built and gave to Fiona her very own jetpack. Is this... Well, given it's in first person, it mentions Brendan and Fiona's names out loud. This must have been a journal by Caitlin. Gave her her own jetpack. Well, if the Banshee lady's with her own jetpack, does that mean this Banshee lady is Fiona, who survived the explosion? Oh dear, I forgot to pick up something. Oh good, I didn't have to open it again. That's the key that'll open the chest. But before I do that, now I'll quickly go ahead and do that doll arrangement puzzle. Alright, do this quickly. Alright, there we go. Now I'm gonna go over to the bog hut to open up that chest with the key. So, our Banshee lady is Fiona. And this must have been where she's been living all this time. What was that, during the 40s that it happened? So yeah, she'd be an elderly woman. Alright, so I just flew right over there. I didn't need to go right from the bog entrance to cross all the way to the bog. Just flew over there. Yep, I think this essentially also confirms you are the light of our life, our deepest love to you always. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Oh, here she is.
Listen, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be in here. This is your home, isn't it? My name's Nancy Drew, and you're Fiona, right? Fiona Malloy? Fiona, listen, I didn't mean any harm. See, I'm looking for someone, a young man named Matt. I don't suppose you've seen him. Fiona?
No, don't touch that.
Is that Matt?
No!
Yep.
Matt. Well, now you're trapped over there, and I'm trapped over here. No harm done.
I take it you're Matt. I'm Nancy Drew, the maid of honor.
Thrilled, I'm sure. You wouldn't happen to have a tunnel boring machine in your pocket, would you? Or food? Do you have any food on you? Or biscuits? Or some crisps? Cocoa Kringle? Anything?
Sorry.
Oh, the only thing that woman in the shabby dress ever gives me are carrots and potatoes and such. I've been wandering around down here for days. I want something full of sugar and nice, greasy fat. You know, real food.
She feeds you?
Every once in a while, the silo slides open. She'll be standing up there in the fresh air looking down at me. Then I get showered with vegetables, she goes away, and the silo slides shut. Whenever I talk to her, she kind of grunts as if she understands what I'm saying, yet she refuses to help me. It's like I'm her pet or something. And now there's two of us. Dibs on the potatoes.
Why did this door shut when I pulled that switch?
As if I can figure from the papers and drawings I found, you're standing in the laboratory where the bloke who lived here during World War II did all his top secret research. He was working on new forms of propulsion to be used in flying machines, rockets, that sort of thing. Apparently, to keep unwanted visitors out, he planted devices which would allow him, at the push of a button, to seal off the lab. This gate and all the others will go up when our hostess decides to feed us. Opening those silo doors seems to reset everything. Opening those silo doors is also the only way out of here. Believe me, I know.
How did you get down here?
I stumbled upon the entrance to a secret passage in the nursery, so I thought it would be jolly good fun to make some ghostly sorts of noise from inside it and give Kyler a fright. But all of a sudden, this crow flew in through the window and came straight in my eyes. I fell backwards.
So that's why his glasses were found by the fireplace.
I was falling through a hole in the
They
floor.
fell off his face when he was attacked by the crow.
So I got to my feet, and since it was dark and my glasses were knocked off when that crow attacked me, I started feeling my way along the wall, looking for a ladder or something, so I could climb back up. But instead, my hand hit some sort of button. A siren went off, the door above me slid shut, and there I was. I yelled until I was hoarse, but no use. I was trapped. So I felt my way along the tunnel, looking for another way out, until I got to the lab you're standing in. At which point, I blundered into the button you just pressed. Siren goes off, door comes down, and suddenly I'm even more trapped. Not long after that, the door at the top of the silo slid open. So I looked up, and by squinting really hard, I could see an old woman with long hair.
Wow, he must be extremely nearsighted if he has to squint that hard.
I called to her, told her who I was and what had happened. I told her everything. Called to her till I went hoarse again, but she just stood there. I even tossed my ring up to her, saying, "Go ahead,
So that's why the doll had the ring. His ring,
Tyler's
I
trying
mean.
her best not to show it, but she's really worried about you.
That's the worst of it. Knowing that my eagerness to play a silly prank on her is going to wind up ruining the wedding. She's going to be so disappointed and humiliated and appalled. She'll never forgive me. What an idiot I am. I love her so much, and I'm so lucky a mongrel like me landing someone as smart and beautiful as her, and now, whether I ever get out of here or not, I'm going to lose her. What an unthinking, short-sighted, irritable idiot.
For a while, Kit was convinced you disappeared because you had decided you didn't want to marry Kyler after all.
I'm not surprised. The fact is, soon after we got here, he tried to tell me I was about to make a colossal mistake and that I should call off the wedding. Such wishful thinking on his part is exactly why I didn't ask him to be my best man. Oh, I've made up some excuse about office politics and occupational expediencies, but Kit was and is, and hopefully always will be, my best friend. But having him be my best man, knowing he's still smitten with Kyler, I figured I'd pass.
Mr. Delaney, the caretaker, he thinks you were spirited away by fairies.
You know, I actually miss that superstitious, super ridiculous old fossil. Kit and I spent the better part of an evening reading Line in the Garden so we could fool him into thinking a leprechaun was woven through the bushes. Only a branch snapped off and whacked Kit in the eye, and that was that.
Oh, so that's how he got the black eye. Why did he lie about it? I think it's more plausible to get a black eye from being whacked by a tree branch than a door.
Her name's Fiona. She's the daughter of Brendan Malloy, the guy who was doing all the research down here. Everyone thought she was killed, along with her parents, when this place exploded. But she wasn't. And she's been wandering around in the bog near the castle ever since.
So, if our wedding ever does take place, it looks like I'll end up with a crazy in-law after all.
I'll be in here checking everything out, okay?
Great. Why don't I wait right here?
Alright, so I have to find a way out of here. Alright. Oh, good. Fits perfectly. Right. Right. So let's look at this clipboard. What does it say?
It looks like the only sure way of getting those silo doors to open is by launching the rocket.
So we're gonna have to launch this rocket. But there are some things to do first. First, I need a key. And you know what? First of all...
Did you know there was a button here that says, in case of lockdown, press to open?
What? You mean something that could open up a way to escape was right under my nose the whole time? That does it. If I get out of here, I'm having that eye surgery. My weak stomach will just have to get over it.
Okay, but to do that... Okay, I forgot to press it. To get the key... Oh, God, I hate this puzzle. To get the key that's all the way up here, I have to get most of these chemicals out of the way by putting them in their right places. According to the notes, some chemicals belong in different categories, but this is an extremely volatile puzzle. So I'm gonna focus on this and not talk while I do it. I'll talk after I successfully put them away. All right, not a single accident with the chemicals. That being said, I think maybe at some point I'll make a video to show a safe way to put all the chemicals back where they belong per their categories and how you use the arm to grip on it, each different size chemical correctly. But I don't want to get into that because I'm at the end of the game and I just want to talk about the little things left to do. But now all the chemicals are put away, so I should get an award for that. And now I've got the key. So I'll just finish making the rocket and end the, wrap up there. But I'll make a video to show the safe way to put all the chemicals away and explain how to do it safely with gripping it and using the arm to avoid a lot of fatal accidents. Because there's a lot of ways to cause explosions and have it game over. But I'll make that separately. Now I'll just wrap up what I need to still do and how to do it. So I got the top and the fin that I need to attach to the rocket. This here. And this down here. Now I got to connect the wires according to Brendan's notes. So yellow with gray, red with purple, orange with brown, blue with black, green and pink. And so the wires have to be connected accordingly. Wire 1, red with red. Wire 2, blue. Wire 3, orange. Wire 4, yellow, and then wire 5 to green. All right. So that should be good. And let me just take another quick look at his notes. Oh, wrong here. Okay.
It looks like the only sure way of getting those silo doors to open is by launching the rocket.
No, I didn't know she'd say that again. But okay, the rocket key needs to be put here. Flip the switch to 90.1. Okay, it's green because they're connected correctly. The wires are connected correctly. Now flip the middle switch, and if I flip the right switch, it should have a successful takeoff, and the door outside will open, and game will be over. And we have liftoff. And there's that hatch that had the lone flower outside. It opens up to let the rocket fly out. And there it goes. Oh, Kit and Kyler are in the garden, and they see this. And so does Fiona. But Denal slept through the whole thing.
Nancy? What on earth is going on? Matt!
Kyler, we're trapped down here. Get a ladder or something.
Oh, Matt, I've been so worried about you. Where have you been? I missed you so much. I was afraid I'd never see you again. And I've got so much to tell you. No, I take that back. There's only one thing I want to tell you. I love you. Do you hear me? I love you.
By the time Kit came back with a ladder, Kyler had said I love you to Matt approximately 150 times. And Matt had said it to Kyler about 200 times, and they were still saying it to each other on the day of their wedding 4 days later. Even Kit remarked that Matt's little misadventure seemed to have been good for their relationship. Needless to say, this bummed Kit out, until he met the very beautiful young Irish woman who catered the reception. Long story short, it looks like Kit will soon be returning to Ireland, and not just to sketch plans for potential housing developments. As for Mr. Delaney, he still can't accept the fact that the strange wail I kept hearing wasn't a banshee, but an old siren that Matt kept inadvertently setting off down in the tunnels. Nor is he clear on the fact that Fiona, whose jetpack was also a source
I think he
of weird
believes in
noises,
that
was responsible
Irish
for
myth and
many of the
folklore a
strange
little too
phenomena
much,
he'd
if you
always
ask me.
attributed to fairies. But he understood immediately that Fiona was someone in need
If
of
he doesn't want to
compassion
believe that
and helped the police
that
take
it
her into
wasn't
custody without
due to
incident.
fairies
Apparently,
or
after the
banshees.
explosion killed her parents, Fiona was taken in and raised by an old hermit who lived alone in the bog hut, which did not
So
exactly
she's been
do
living
wonders
there
for the
ever
little girl's
since.
mental or emotional development. But she's getting lots of
Oh,
attention now.
looks like
and
she's in a nursing
so
home
bright.
now.
After all, her father was a rocket scientist. But her prognosis is actually pretty good. Me, I'm on my way back to the States via jet plane, not jet pack.
Of course.
My pack and Fiona's were quickly confiscated by military types, bent on adapting them for use on the battlefield.
That's a shame. They'd be a great source of
Unfortunately for them,
transportation.
Brendan's intricate fuel system has them completely and hopelessly stumped.
Brendan was quite the inventor, if you ask me, if he could make jetpacks that could actually make you
They finally
fly.
had the skies above Castle Malloy all to themselves.
All right. I bet Denal and Kyler were shocked that Fiona actually survived all this time. Okay, so Trivia Tamer. The wedding was on June 1st. Now on to the awards. All right, I got 5. I was hoping I could get at least half, but I did get the Easter egg and Dollhouse Arranger award. So now let's move on to the preview for the next game and then the credits.
When my best friend Bess Marvin wins a vacation for 3 at a resort on a private island in the Bahamas, she naturally invites me and her cousin, George Payne, to go with her. But by the time I arrive, the owners of the resort are nowhere to be found, and Bess has been kidnapped. To get her back, George and I must find a long-lost treasure, a quest that brings us face to face with many of the island's strange inhabitants, and forces us to risk our lives, both on and in the sea. Help us find the treasure before this sun-drenched paradise turns deadly. In my next adventure, Ransom of the 7 Ships.
And so there you have it for The Haunting of Castle Malloy. Listen to that beautiful Irish music. All right, so one thing I wanted to point out that this game is a bit unique, and when you get to the end, you realize that there was no actual culprit involved. No crime was committed. So what I mean is there was no culprit who committed a crime in this case of the mystery. I mean, yes, in a way, Fiona was holding Matt hostage, but not on her own, necessarily on her own accord. I mean, Matt was actually trying to commit a prank when he disappeared, so he kind of disappeared. His disappearing was his own little fault, and he couldn't find himself able to get out of the situation, and really Fiona didn't do much to help. But when they showed her and Nancy saying like the police took her into custody, I don't think they actually arrested her for a crime. I think they just wanted to take her in for questioning, and regarding her appearance and situation with her having still being there, but the fact that she was put into a nursing home shows like she's left to her fate, and will have a good one, I think. But no crime was committed here, so there is no culprit in this game to make it kind of unique for all others. I mean, you could call Fiona culprit, as I said, for not really helping Matt, but there was no real crime committed here, unlike the others, many of the preceding games. And I wanted to mention that, but here before I end this commentary with this walkthrough, there are bloopers played after the credits here, but I'm gonna make that a smaller video, so I'm just gonna end it here. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.